Lincoln, sisters and brothers. Suleiman Rahim here, messenger of the covenant, breaker of the seven seals. Well, I have a slight announcement to make. I finally decided to make a clean break from Facebook. I never liked being out there. It was a waste of time, a big distraction. I wasted months, more than a year, almost 2 years out there. It's a waste. There's nothing there. People are there, but it's just a waste. Because everybody has that Facebook mentality. It's like a social club or something. They don't understand. And I allow myself to be drawn into that. But no more. It was a big distraction. So I had to cut loose the dead weight and move on. Brothers and sisters, most of you are not going to get this information until abomination of desolation. That's why we're putting it out there. So when that time comes, the information will be available to you. That's a hard task. That's a hard task because you don't get any immediate feedback. It's like mathematics is invisible, but its evidence is everywhere. And the job of Suleiman is the hardest ever. Not like the job of Prophet Muhammad, because he got immediate results. He was constantly at war. He ended up controlling all Arabia, but his mission was to build an army. That's if you read chapter 20 in the AL-INJIL, Revelations, he was to build this chain, this army that was to hold Adam, the devils, in check for 1,000 years. That was the goal. Every prophet or minister has a goal, a particular mission. It is different. That mission has been spent, it's done. That's what the Quran was for, to achieve that goal. So what are you going to use the Quran for now? That's the ignorance of the past, ignorance of these people walking around telling you that they think they know what they talk about. They have no idea. During the time, if you believe in the story of Noah, which is before us, it's not behind us. But what was required then was not an army, because the nature of the battle was different. It required an ark, because the nature of the war would be a flood. So you have to understand the nature of the battle, the nature of the war, to be prepared for it. Suleiman would have the job of what you might call resonance. That's a story in Jericho. His faith, he had to have faith in mathematics because he would preach for 30-some years. Resonance over and over and over and over, because he knew that's what it's going to take to break the walls of Jericho down. But if he stops, nothing happens. That's a lot of faith to keep doing something 24/7, to make all kinds of sacrifices and everything, and keep doing it 24/7 without any evidence that what you're doing is going to have a result. That requires extreme faith. No other prophet or messenger in history had that type of a mission. Master Muhammad, right, once he was taught, he had all the information he needed to go out and build the wheel. I mean, he got immediate results, right, from his works. He didn't have to wait 30, 40, 50 years to build it. He went out and built it. But it required great patience for Suleiman, because he would have to keep preaching the same thing. And it says, his out of his mouth came a two-edged sword. So he said he would defeat his enemies with his mouth. He would defeat the son of perdition with his mouth, because it's the word. The word is the most powerful force in the universe, because the word is pressure. And he would use pressure, that wisdom of the pressure, to defeat his enemies. But that's what the angel is. It's the word. That's what would defeat his enemies, the word. That's what it says. It'd be the word that would do it. He would be the high priest that would have to keep delivering that word over and over. Resonance over and over. Resonance over and over. Resonance over and over. For 30-some years before it builds up enough force to break this whole system down. Do you have that type of patience? Are you willing to do that? That's just the resonance. But first you have to take and find the device, which is the angel. And then you have to break the seals to release that energy. And then you have to use that energy and keep repeating it over and over and over. Yeah, keep delivering it over, not with videos, repeat with videos. And like I said, no, you have to get out there with the word and repeat over and over and over. You have to understand the language of vectors. Seeing no result, but you understand the science of resonance, so you know there's going to be a result. It's just how long it takes to build up enough force to break the walls of Jericho down. You have to understand these stories, brothers and sisters. Do you have that type of patience? I've had people come and go over the years. Once they realized that was the mission, they couldn't stick around for that. They wanted quick action. Let's go to war. Let's kick ass. See? Let's get some guns. Waiting 30 years. Well, I didn't know I had to wait 30 years at that time. When I first got into this, I had no idea it'd be 30 years into the future. So I was kind of tricked into the whole affair. But once I realized it, I stepped up. I knew that would be a hard mission. 30 years into the future. I got to calculate 30 years. Well, I knew nothing would happen until 2020 anyway. Because 2019 would be the end of the 40 years. So what would that take me? 2020, that's 30 years from 1990. So once I put the two and two together, I go, oh man, it's going to be 30 years. Because initially, when I first broke the seal, I thought, man, 144,000, I'm going to raise them overnight, man. We're going to be kicking ass. 144,000 prophets and messengers. We're going to wreck the society. We're going to raise hell in America for, right? That's what I thought initially. Because I said, I'm studying. And then when I realized, no, that's not what's going to happen. I didn't back down. You have to understand the angel. You have to study it. The angel is the only book given that can turn you into a prophet overnight if you study it. But there's no prophets. No one wants to study it. No one wants to step up. But everybody wants to get to the promised land. But they want somebody to deliver them to the promised land. They don't want to apply the energy that it takes to get there, the effort. We're told that once even we get there, we have to fight to take it. God said, here, Joshua, here it is. Now take it. Now you're here, the promised land. You've been delivered to the promised land. Now take it. The word, brothers and sisters. It's the word that defeats our enemies, because that's what it's all about anyway, because the word is pressure. And the angel is the most intense pressure device ever, because we're in unprecedented times. So we need an unprecedented weapon. That's what the angel is. And it says, keep preaching it over and over and over and over for 30 years, and then you have the breakthrough. That's what it's going to take to bring down the walls of Jericho. When I'm over there on Facebook, I'm trying to step back, because, some people contacted me. So I said, okay, well, if I can pick up some extra resonance, right? Maybe that might cut the time down some, or either, I'm taking free some odd people ahead of time, because a lot of people can be lost. So that's, I guess, my better judgment. I step back and said, okay, let me, see what I could do. It was a total waste of time. Because when you feed something more than you get back, then you're wasting your time. You invest, but your return on your investment is less than your investment, then you're wasting your time. I'm giving all this knowledge, all this energy, all this wisdom, the angel, all this, and I'm not getting anything back in return. A couple of videos, a couple of this, that, whatever. Total waste of time. You see, and you got all this supreme wisdom, more than Elijah had, more than any prophet and messenger ever had. And you get 5 middle. You told everything and how to use it. You give all these powerful weapons, and you're sitting there just staring like a deer staring at the headlights. You're not using it. You're saying, hey, I'm giving you all this high-test fuel, and you ain't moving no more than 10 miles an hour. You put your foot in the gas, and you ain't going no more than 10 miles an hour. You got to put all this high-test fuel into you. See, like I said, they weren't being lifted up. They were just holding me back. And I may pay a price for that. You may pay a price for that, because I delayed. I knew better. I knew about the rusty locks. I knew better. I knew better, but I did anyway. I won't make that mistake again. It's the word, brothers and sisters, that's going to defeat the enemy, the angel, because that's what we're fighting against. We're fighting against religion. That's the word, falsehood. That's the nature of the battle, not the ark, not a flood. The nature of the battle is pressure, truth against falsehood, because this whole world is bound up in falsehood. They're in the heart zone, the emotional zone. They're in the gravitational vortex, in the belief matrix. And it says the truth of angel is like a stone that will crush all of it, destroy all of it. Because, or why? Why destroy all of it? Because all of it is falsehood. All of it is a lie. It's all darkness, and light destroys darkness. Our people will be delivered. It says 144,000 will understand and step up. Their names will be in the Lamb's Book of Life. I don't know how people are going to get around that. They say, well, I got the angel, understand it. Do you? Then why are you not responding to it? See, Elijah, okay, I talked about Prophet Muhammad. His task, see, the people with him, they had to fight wars. They was constantly fighting. See, that was the nature of their battle. He had to build an army that was going to bind up Gog and Magog for 1,000 years into the pit. That was the nature of Prophet Muhammad's mission. Elijah Muhammad had to prepare you to build a nation. So he had to get you out there and working hard. Focus all your energy on your nation. The Bible says, focus all your energy on this nation. It wasn't so much about the word, it's about focus. Focus all your, because he understood, whether he understood or not, right? I don't know what the God told him, but the result is he had to focus all his energy on building a nation, because that's what we need to do. He had to set the example that we're not following now, and Farrakhan is totally destroyed because we're not focusing our energy on building a nation anymore. That's why we don't have one. Elijah Muhammad's mission was to focus all our energy on show us how to focus our energy in order to get a result. Because it was going to happen by itself. He forced you to focus all your energy on building a nation, and he was very successful at it. Focusing all your energy to build a nation, like I've been telling you, right? Time is the transform of energy from one form to another. So he's taking the energy right here in America that we were taught by NASA to abuse, to misuse, and focus that energy on building a nation, self first. And he was successful because it worked. Why did it work? Because you're only going to get what you transform your energy into. If you transform your energy into a shit farm, then you can have a shit farm. If you transform your energy into a gold mine, you have a gold mine. It depends on you. So he focused all our energy to build a nation. That was his mission. And that's what everyone with him did. Now, in his case, he forced you to do it. That's accept the example he had to. But the downside of that is that once he stopped forcing you, once he stopped pushing you, it all unraveled. When he was no longer there to push you, you just stopped. And that was the downside of that. But still, the effect of it is you focus all your energy on building a nation. That was what he was doing, and that's what he required of his people. But we're told now, see, that was the nature of his battle, the nature of his mission. See, that came out of the lessons. It wasn't necessarily out of the Bible, it was mostly out of the lessons, right? Supported by the Bible, but he had a sealed Bible. He did not have an unsealed Bible. So his mission was primarily driven by the lesson, the supreme wisdom that Master Muhammad gave him. And he achieved his mission. And then come Farrakhan, who dismantled all of it. So now there's no nation, there's nothing, because your energy is focused on Scientology, pimping the sisters, running around looking pretty, and everything else. Right? So there is nothing there except enriching Mr. Farrakhan. That's it. That's it. You're not building a damn thing. Your energy is not focused on that. What is your energy focused on with Farrakhan? It's focused on devil's reality. That's why you have nothing. And now we're telling you, oh, well, we bring the devils in, right? We're going to have 6 states right next to, we're going to live peacefully with America and all this kind of stuff. See, that's Master's vision. So Master will still maintain control of us. Maintain control of us. We got so-called 6 states, which that's the lie in itself. Because if we're going to have 6 states, how come we're not preparing for it? He's telling you, oh, you're going to have 6, 7 states. Well, why is he not preparing infrastructure? Why is he not preparing the scientists, engineers, right? And architects, and so forth. So why is he not preparing all that for these 6 days? He promised you that he's going to get for you, that that's our future. Because it's a big lie. It's like, you got one more thing to do. What is that one more thing, Mr. Farrakhan? They already got you in a casket. Is that the one more thing to bury your ass? See, you've done. Master Muhammad's going to pull a plug in a minute and you're done. And those that claim they're with me, I don't know how they get around all of that because they claim they see all these things, but they're doing nothing, nothing at all. Do they really believe that? Because their names are sure not going to be in the Lamb's Book of Life. So how do they get around all of that? They truly believed it, which I don't think they did, because their actions didn't express that. Because, as I said, you have to understand the nature of the battle. Elijah Muhammad understood the nature of the battle. He was successful because he understood what the battle was about. Building a nation. Prophet Muhammad was successful because he understood what the battle was about. Building an army for a specific purpose. Prophet Jesus understood what the battle was about. Bringing down the Roman Empire. You have to understand what the battle is about, the nature of it. And so what's the battle here? The battle here is the most powerful of all times because it gets right to the heart of it. The word, pressure, bringing out the most powerful adversary we ever had. With the word, it says that he would destroy him with the word. So that's the nature. But is anyone stepping up? Because like Elijah Muhammad, you work 24/7, focusing all your energy, all of it, to build a nation. So now you're required to step up and deliver the word, resonance. That's what your requirement is. That's the nature of the war, because it's the word. And you don't want to do that. You say untimed, unprecedented trouble, and it's the war, but you don't believe that. You don't believe it because you got time for other things. Muhammad didn't have time for other things. They was constantly at war. They had to focus 100% on what they were doing to be successful. Same with Prophet Jesus. Same with Elijah Muhammad. But you, all you have to do is sit back and deliver the word, and you don't want to do that. Stay the angel. Deliver the word 24/7. And you got both feet in the devil's reality. Oh, I want a picnic. I want to take a vacation. See all the little things the devil put out, all little trinkets. You want all of that. But you don't have time for the word. Because this requires you 24/7, just like it requires me 24/7. I'm delivering the word 24/7. I'm studying 24/7. I have other activities that you're not aware of 24/7. I have no time for breaks. I have no time for anything else. It's hit me with a severe, I just got severely wounded. I have not yet recovered, but I'm out here still on point, on post, delivering the word 24/7. If I'm not doing presentations, I'm studying to prepare for presentations and other things I do behind the scenes that you're not aware of. That's what's required. So how you gonna tell me you talk about you this is a time of unprecedented trouble and we're at war? How you gonna tell me that? And that's not the way you're responding. You're not you're not producing, you're not acting like a warrior at soldier at war. Who are you trying to fool? Because if you believe that, if you believe your house on fire and your family was in there, you'd be talking about saying, hey man, I need to take a break. I need to go get some coffee. You be in there getting them out 24/7. That'd be a total focus. And if you believe that this was a time of unprecedented trouble and we're at war, you would be working, you'd be fighting 24/7. You'd be on the battlefield 24/7. 24/7. You don't have time for picnics and things like that. You'd be out there studying the engine. When you ain't studying the engine, you'd be delivering presentations. If you wasn't doing that, you'd be out putting information to people, giving flyers and stuff, warning them about the abomination of desolation. You'd be doing all kinds of things, getting this information out. That would be a total focus, 100%. And then people would believe you because they don't believe you now. Man, it's a time of unprecedented trouble. Man, you should pick up the angel. And then let's go on vacation, babe. Let's have a picnic, babe. I said, wait a minute, I thought you said this was, we're at war. This is a time of unprecedented trouble. And that don't add up to me. I mean, I ain't no scientist, I ain't a mathematician, but still, in my book, 2 + 3 = 5, and that sure don't add up to 5 to me, what you talking about. Because if this is a war, unprecedented trouble, why you got time for anything else? Why you not on the battlefield? If that's what you believe, because you don't believe it. So get out of my face with that crap. So like I said, hey, Facebook is history. Waste time here. I mean, YouTube is social media too, to somebody, I guess, right? But I can use the presentations from there for other things. But like I said, my mission is to build resonance, keep information at it. So when the time comes, the information will be available. See, when the heart speaks to the brain and says, tell me what to do, the information will be there. Because if I don't put it out there, it won't be there. And that's all my works of 30-some years to do that. That's the faith it takes. Because the whole idea about the battle of the walls of Jericho, it required faith. Because all you was doing was keep saying the same thing over and over and over again, walking around the walls of Jericho. You couldn't see the effect. You couldn't see the effect was having on the walls. You could not see the mathematics. You just had to have faith that what you was doing was going to have that result. And that's what's required of me. And it's not easy, brothers and sisters, because I don't know that it's going to have that result. That's my faith. I've never seen that before. The mathematics make sense. The mathematics are sound to me. But when you look around and say, man, what do you have to do to make this happen? Then you start questioning whether it's worth it or not. You know the mathematics. Well, yeah, well, if I invest so much money in this thing that gives me 10% interest, right? The mathematics makes sense. Hey, I'm gonna put $10,000 in this thing. It's gonna be 10% interest a year. So that's $1,000. So 10%, right? So that's $100. And I'm gonna get back every year, right? That makes sense. Then, but you look at the risk and say, well, yeah, but what if it collapses, right? That fund collapses. That's the chance you take, because if it does, then you may have invested and you added 4, 5, 6, 7, and all of a sudden it collapses, you lose everything. So you start wondering, wait a minute, is it worth the risk? And I had to make that evaluation. Was it against the risk? Was it worth the risk? Because in order to do this, I had to give up everything because that's what it required. You got to give up everything, total focus of your energy. Because once you have mastered the prophet, that's what it means. Prophet Muhammad had to give up everything. He had to be total focus. Elijah Muhammad had to be total focus. Prophet Jesus had to be total focus. He gave up his life. You can't be more focused than that. And it says Suleiman would be had to be 150% focus, total focus. He had the hardest job in history because he doesn't get immediate feedback. Said this is how you said it. It says that the light came in darkness, but the darkness comprehended it not. That he be rejected. He would walk alone for 30 some odd years. You think that's easy by yourself? When everybody's abandoned you, your family and everyone else, and you stand alone in the dark? The whole world is against you, and all you have is this little book called The Angel, and it's telling you that you got to keep repeating this information over and over by yourself in the dark. 8 billion vectors against you with no help whatsoever. And that it's going to take you 30 some years before you're effective. You think that's easy? You have to work 24/7 with total opposition, being thrown into prison, accused of all kinds of things, ripped off of all your possessions, homeless. To get this done, to get this job done, all that opposition, resistance, and you had to continue going and through all of that. You think that was easy? And then you're gonna have some Johnny come ladies running around. Hey man, I'm an angel warrior, bam. I'm gonna do a video, bam, and then man, you gonna really? You think I'm gonna be impressed by that? Really? No, you have to be fully committed. You want to, I don't, and if you're trying to impress me, then you totally miss the mark. You can't impress me. I'm not here to be impressed. It's you. It's your future you playing around with, not mine. I'm just going to tell you the truth. And that's the mission. And now it's about to pay off. Because the walls of Jericho are about to come down. You see it already starting to crack. America's foundation is cracking. The walls are cracking. So we see it's about to happen. And where will you be? 30 years of hard work, but just all by myself. He said he would walk alone in the darkness. The angel's only light. Just keep on having faith. That's what faith is, because I don't know that it's going to happen. I've never seen it happen before. I'm just playing the math. The math sounds sound to me, so I apply it and stick with it. And if I had hesitated, took vacations and all that kind of stuff, then that would kill the whole resonance. Because resonance means you got to keep it up. You can't take a break. It's 24/7. Study resonance. You got to keep on boom, 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 boom. Resonance keep building up, building up. You can't just stop for a few minutes. Because then it reinitiates itself. Then you got to start all over again. why when they took me out a few weeks ago, oh man, I was, I definitely wasn't expecting. I was expecting an attack, but I wasn't expecting that. That was much more than I expected. I hadn't expected anything as intense as they did to me. But soon as I was able, right, picked up my weapon and went back on the battlefield. Well, I never really left the battlefield. I just was wounded, severely wounded. And I picked up my sword and went back to work wounded. And I'm still wounded, severely wounded. Because that resonance has to maintain, has to keep going, going. You can't wait till you get almost there to the end and then you stop. No, you can't do that. It has to be 24/7. And I wonder, is my distraction in Facebook hurt that to some extent? Because I thought I could pick up some extra resonance by fueling and feeding those I found on Facebook. And I figured fueling them, right, inspiring them, they would step up and they would add to the resonance. That would be a good thing. That's not what happened. Because they never got to understand it. They didn't understand. They say, oh, we're at war. They didn't understand what that meant. How can you say you're at war when you're taking breaks? If you're at war, that's a 24/7 activity. When you're on the battlefield, you don't take a break. You don't take a coffee break. And the other thing about it is that I'm in 30 years invested, and they have like a year or two to invest, and they don't want to do that. So all you gotta do is get the word out 24/7. Get the word out. If they're not out there making presentations, they study the angel to make better presentations, get more information out there. Or they're out there putting flyers out to the people in the churches, warning about the abomination of desolation. They'll find all kinds of ways to get the information out. Prepare for our people. If they want to go out, hey man, make me a little presentation. Tell them, hey man, I'm going to take me vacation, take some selfies and all this kind of stuff. You got time for that? That's what you got time for? And you talking about you at battle? You know, when you on the battlefield, you better be total focused on dealing with the enemy or you're going to be dead. So you ain't on the battlefield. If you're out there picking it, you ain't on the battlefield. So you bullshitting. Everybody knows you bullshitting. So you out there talking about, hey man, you out there picnicking, eating your hamburgers and carrying on, talking about, hey man, we at war. This time unprecedented. And you think our people are totally stupid? They may be in the hot zone, but they ain't totally stupid. That don't add up. Because they're going to take you about as serious as they see you. And they see you ain't serious. But then you want them to be responding. How come they not responding? What example are you setting? So, brothers and sisters, abomination of desolation is on the horizon. And your name will not be in the Lamb's Book of Life unless you're pure gold. You've been tested. All the impurities burn off. And you can say anything you want. You get upset. And oh man, I don't care. I don't care about your feelings. I told you that. Now, sisters, that's a whole different issue with the sisters. I told you, I'm not going to sit in judgment of the sisters because they've been warriors for 400, 600, 500 years already. But you brothers out there, you're going to have a hard way to go, especially those who claimed to have knowledge of the angel and claim that you understand this time, pressing trouble, claim that we're at war, and you sitting around eating hamburgers, talking bullshit. instead of studying the angel and delivering the message 24/7. And then some of you talking about the FOI, and you don't want to do that. So you could not have been an FOI back in Elijah. How much time? Because they work your ass. Once they drop 300 papers on you, you be long gone. Amen. You be long gone. Once they drop 300, because nobody forced you to do 300 papers. Nobody forced you to be in the FOI. So why was those brothers standing up with the messenger and doing these things when nobody was forcing them to do it? They could have ran right back out into the world and did their thing, watch, be a cheerleader. But they chose to stand up. And that was a good thing. That's the Levites. Because they recognized Elijah and they recognized what the war was, and they did it. Even though they had to be pushed for what to do, they stepped up. Well, you stepping up. So, like I said, it was a major distraction. And I knew about 144,000. That army would not be raised until the four winds blow. When that army is raised, you're going to see some real warriors. Then you're going to know what a real warrior is 24/7. That's the stone that's going to crush. They think they're going to crush all the nations, taking vacations, taking selfies. They think they're going to do that. That's a 24/7 job. You're on the battlefield. We're going to go against the greatest nations on the planet, nuclear armed nations. 144,000 against 8 billion. And we're going to wipe them all out. How do you think that's going to happen? Unless you true warrior 24/7 ready to kick ass, and any of you not ready, not even close to ready to that, any of that. So then you're going to try to find what's a true angel warrior is all about. Like I tried to explain to you, you better read the scriptures carefully. It said, even the least in the kingdom of heaven will be greater than Elijah. That means, what does that mean? That means that works were greater. Not just because they were the angel warrior. Their works were greater than Elijah. And Elijah gave 24/7. These are going to give 24/7, but they're going against the entire world, 8 billion. So you think you deserve to be in the class with them when you don't even want to give up an hour, 2 or 3 hours a week? But you say it's a time of unprecedented trouble. That's what you say. And you say we're a time of war. But your actions don't reveal that that's what you believe. That's not your actions. Hey, man, the house on fire, man. You better get out of here. Okay, man, I'll be out in a minute, man. I got to finish watching this NBA game. Really? You talking about, you believe the house on fire? Yeah, you guys wait until they finish the last few minutes of the NBA game, NFL or whatever. Action speaks louder than words, brothers and sisters. You can't fool me. Oh, that old man, he don't know what he's talking about. You can fool him. Okay. We'll see what happens with that. Anyway, brothers, this is the word. That's the nature of the battle. That's the nature of the battle. Not the ark, not that's the nature of the battle up to the point where the 144,000, because first you got to break down the walls of Jericho. That's the mission right now. Then to build that army when the four winds blow. And then it's the nature of the war changes, because now, right, you got the 144,000 and they're going to crush all the nations, but they're going to do it primarily with the word. They're going to do it the word, but the resistance is going to come back physical. You got to understand that, because they're going to be crushing nations with the word. but the resistance to it will come back physical. So they'll be fighting with the word, right? And then the resistance will come back physical, so they have to respond physically. But the whole reason is because of the word, because I said we're the cause of Armageddon, because they're trying to stop us from rising back to power, fulfilling the agreement that was made 50,000 years ago, that we will return to this part of planet Earth by making a sacrifice. They're all against that. We're the cause of Armageddon. And so we're going to have 144,000. They're going to follow the Lamb wherever he goes, and says they're preaching the word. But the resistance will be physical. You understand? Because that word is going to be just tearing their hearts apart. Because the word will not bother their mind. In their case, will bother their mind because they're of the flesh, as the Bible says. They're of the flesh. So they'd rather be in the heart zone than the mind zone. In religion, rather than mathematics. So they're going to resist you destroying their religion. And since they're in the heart zone, they be very emotional. So they're going to respond emotionally. And we have to deal with all of that. But our weapon is the word, the angel, which we're going to destroy all the nations. But they're going to respond back physically. I hope you understand that, brother and sister. It says, these 10 kings will make war with the Lamb, but the Lamb will overcome them. The weapon is the word. But they're going to respond physically. They resist it. And we're going to destroy them. Because the word is the most powerful force in the universe, because it's pressure. That's what it's all pressure. Hope you understand, brothers and sisters. So we're moving on past that Facebook nonsense into the future. And we almost there. For a time of unprecedented trouble. That is exactly what it means. That means you should be putting unprecedented energy into it. But are you doing that? Unprecedented trouble. Time of war. Are you on the battlefield 24/7? No. So that's your choice, brothers and sisters. If you don't make it, then you don't, because you didn't put the energy in to make it. It's up to you. Where you are in life is totally the result of how you applied your energy up to now. If you applied your energy towards positive stuff, then you in a positive situation. If you applied your energy to BS, then you in a BS situation. You formed the position you are in time right now is a result of how you transformed the energy that you had growing up. What form you transformed it into. And so now you're the result of that, of your lifelong transformation of energy. If you waste it, then you're weak. And your future depends on how you transform energy from this point on. Hope you understand, brothers and sisters. We're going to leave it there. Assalamu alaikum.